Good morning. It's the appointed time and we have a quorum. I call to order the meeting. Agenda item 1. Policy briefing by the Security Bureau. I now invite the Secretary for Security and his team to join us. Members who'd like to speak, you may press the request to speak button now.
早晨，局長。
Good morning, Secretary.
過去呢，我哋嘅委
There were no such policy briefings in the previous panel meetings, but I understand that the SAR government would like the newly elected LegCo members to understand better what policies are under this policy portfolio. So the Security Bureau will brief members on its policy portfolio so that members can have a better understanding of its policies. This policy briefing would be longer than usual, therefore. Please note that the administration has already submitted the paper to the LegCo. Please refer to LC paper number CB-2107/2026/01. It is a PowerPoint presentation. I believe the administration would give a presentation based on this PowerPoint file. I'll now pass the floor to the Secretary. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, fellow members of the panel on security. Today, I, together with my team, would like to spend 45 minutes to brief members on our major policies as well as the work to be taken forward. After that, we welcome members' views. There are 4 major points that can summarize the work of the Policy Bureau. 1. Safeguarding our country and home. 2. Fighting crimes and responding to emergencies, that is, to maintain public safety and order and enhance emergency response capabilities. 3. Bringing convenience and facilitation to the public and businesses. There are many policies that aim to facilitate business operations, assist in attracting businesses and talents, and promote tourism. 4. We strive to foster exchanges, nurture youths, and build the sterling reputation of Hong Kong in order to tell good stories of Hong Kong. Now, under the policy initiative of safeguarding national security and development should work hand in hand. Without a safe environment, we won't be able to facilitate the development of Hong Kong. As you may recall, there was this colored revolution in 2019. So I'd like to spend some time to talk about what national security risks are. National security risks have been existed since the handover of Hong Kong. Recently, Mr. Jimmy Lai was convicted, and before the handover of Hong Kong, Apple Daily was already established, and the court rules that Apple Daily makes use of fake news to incite people's discontent against the government. After the reunification in 2003, there was the proposal to legislate for Article 23 of the Basic Law. Back then, there were foreign agents that incited hatred among the community, and therefore the proposal had to be shelved. Back then, we could already see that there were foreign agents working in Hong Kong to endanger national security. Then in 2012, the government then was of the view that there need to be strengthened effort in promoting national education. The government intended to enact legislation for that, but again, some foreign agents in Hong Kong incited hatred, and there were people surrounding the government office, and therefore the proposal had to be shelved again. In 2014, there was Occupy Central movement. Mr. Jimmy Lai and other people occupied part of Central. Then in 2016, there was this riot in Mong Kok. People made use of violence. as well as group activities to endanger national security. Then in 2019, there was this Hong Kong-style colored revolution. We could actually trace this revolution. Foreign forces in Hong Kong deployed tactics to instigate this revolution. They picked people who thought that the country is threatening them, and they spread the idea of hegemonism of our country. Also, these foreign agents have cultivated other agents in Hong Kong, and a lot of these people have been jailed. Now, in 2003, there was this proposal to legislate for Article 23 of the Basic Law, and in 2014, there was this proposal to enact legislation for national education, and 2019, there was this anti-expedition movement. And so these foreign forces actually picked keywords to incite hatred. At first, there were peaceful assemblies, but then they make use of violence, and by spreading fake news, they incited crowds to stage violent acts against the law enforcement departments in order to overthrow the authority. Looking back in 2019, it was fortunate that our country enacted the national security law, and so we were able to restore peace again. After the enactment of the national security law, we in 2024 enacted the Safeguarding National Security Ordinance, which provides protection for us, and now we have more or less restored peace. However, we cannot be complacent. In face of national security risks, we have to guard against the following. First, smears by external forces. A lot of external forces strive to impose sanctions against our government officials. They spread fake reports. For example, on the Jimmy Lai's case, they spread fake news about Jimmy Lai not being allowed to see the doctor, but it was clearly stated in the court that Jimmy Lai actually got treatment, and he did not stage any complaints. Also in 2019, Mr. Pompeo said the Central Intelligence Bureau in the US said they worked based on deception as well as different operations. Also, the Central Intelligence Bureau set up an intelligence center that targeted our country. They would recruit a lot of people who could speak Putonghua to work as spies for them. In 2022, the previous security advisor of the US said part of their work was to help overthrow the authorities of some countries by launching colored revolutions. We could also see that the Central Intelligence Bureau of the US, by recruiting informants, they incite people to betray their countries. These are risks that we face from external forces. Also, we have to guard against anti-China forces from spreading the idea of Hong Kong independence. For example, there were multiple groups and associations that have been banned by us. We also have to guard against local terrorism. Before 2019, if I told you that there was local terrorism, you might not believe it, but we have experienced what happened in 2019. There were local violent squads that engaged in local terrorism. They got brainwashed by the idea of anti-government, and they made use of explosives to pose danger to the public. Actually, as at December last year, we still had arrested people trying to conduct illegal drills in factories. They were waiting for a chance to endanger national security. Also recently, someone went to Ukraine to be martyrs or warriors. We understand that they intended to receive military training in Ukraine so that when they are back in Hong Kong, they could stand against the government. Also, we have to guard against soft resistance. We have the relevant laws in place. So people try to use different means to spread hatred, but indeed, all these are unlawful. One of the recent examples is that after the Taipo Fire incident, people made use of unstable emotions of people to spread rumor that 6,000 anti-riot police officers would be out to crack down on people. They also said that the district care teams snatched all the supplies from the victims. All these are fake news, and their only goal was to incite hatred and to harm the security of Hong Kong as well as national security. To address these national security risks, we launch a series of measures. First, we step up intelligence gathering and law enforcement. Since the enactment of the national security law, we have been making use of the relevant legislations to arrest some 300 people. We have been proactively exercising powers conferred upon by the Safeguarding National Security Ordinance. For example, we announced some of the groups and associations as banned organizations. We've also set up the National Security Department reporting hotline. As at the 1st of January, we have received over 11,000 reports about national security risks. This shows that people have increased their awareness about national security risks. Also, we have to promptly refute smearing remarks so that members of the public know that a lot of the fake news they get are about inciting hatred as well as inconfidence against the government. For example, Bloomberg, during the legislation of Article 23 of the Basic Law, spread the rumor that people would no longer have the freedom of speech after the enactment of the legislation. Also, there was a rumor that a Uyghur was disappeared after coming to Hong Kong. Indeed, these are all fake news. This kind of incidents happen every day, so we have to promptly refute these smearing remarks so that people can be clear about the truth. Also, we have to optimize our legal tools. Apart from the national security law, we also have the Safeguarding National Security Ordinance. We also have amended the Trade Unions Ordinance so that we can prevent any activities that would endanger national security. Also, in the previous legislative term, we passed the amendments to the prison rules. And this enabled us to prevent any people who intend to endanger national security to visit the prison. We also would ban any lawyers from visiting prisoners if we're of the view that they would endanger national security. At the same time, we try to strengthen publicity and education. Every year, we have the National Security Day event. Also, in August 2024, the National Security Exhibition Gallery was opened. And so far, about 1.4 million people have visited the gallery. We also have people explaining information about national security risks in exhibitions. We also stage short drama and drama performances in primary schools and kindergartens to spread national security information.
The second is fighting crimes and responding to emergencies. If we look at the overall crimes, we see an overall drop of 5.8%, and for violent crime, we see a drop of 16.2%. Actually, most of the crime are reducing, especially the areas that of greater concerns, like robbery, burglary, wounding, and serious assault. All these crimes are dropping from the range of 70% of 35%. And we have reached a record high for burglary, while homicide and serious drug cases have increased. Well, apart from the wrongful court cases, we only have a 6 case of increase. As for the drug, we see a 14.7% of increase. And I would like to focus on deception cases. In the past years, we see an increase of around 30% to 11%. In the first 11 months this year, we have recorded a drop of 2.4%. And the amount is around 7.39 billion, which is a drop of 13.3% compared with last year. It is also taking up the highest proportion of our overall crimes. It is taking up 48% of our total crimes. We have different strategies, including targeting at the supply chain, strengthening publicity and education, including Scammeted. We try to cooperate with all other agencies in order to combat anti-deception activities. The Hong Kong police is also making use of technology in order to prevent and investigate different crimes. The first one is Smart View. We are installing closed-circuit televisions. By the end of 2025, we have completed installing 5,000 TV, and we have around 6,000 closed-circuit televisions across government departments. By the end of last year, through the closed-circuit televisions of Smart View, we have already solved over 740 cases, including homicide and robbery cases. In the next stage, in the coming 2 years, we will increase 2,000 cameras per year. By the end of 2028, we will increase 20,000 cameras by year. So by the end of 2028, we will have a total of 60,000 cameras in Hong Kong. So the proportion of CCTV to population will be similar to other advanced cities. We have also started drone policing, including areas nearby the border, as well as area with high pedestrian flow. We will have real-time patrolling, like Mong Kok East and Kowloon West. We also have AI police post. We will provide a voice recognition AI technology there. So by talking to the police post, you will be able to report case. But this is focusing on the non-emergency case, including lost and found, assault. For emergency cases, people should still call 999 or visit the nearest police station. We have also rolled out a super app. It is a one-stop app covering all the services of Hong Kong Police. We have also set up 30 self-service kiosks, especially at the reporting room of police station as well as areas with pedestrian flow. This can take care of some simple case reporting, like the loss report. About half of such loss report cases are being dealt with via self-service kiosks so that we can better arrange our manpower. In terms of counterterrorism, we are still at a mid-level risk of being attacked by terrorists. While Hong Kong is still an international financial center, we have a lot of in and out of passengers. So we have 3 major focuses, including preparedness, readiness, and recovery. So we have conducted some large-scale drills every year. Last year, we have conducted terrorist exercise called Brave Light at Kai Tak Terminal Through publicity and public education programs, we also want to prepare the general public about how they can run away from the scene, escape from the threat, and to seek help. We also want to protect critical infrastructure. Last March, we have passed the Protection of Critical Infrastructures Ordinance. We are focusing on different aspects, including the organization, the prevention, and incident reporting and response of the operators. We have issued the generic code of practice this year. At our next stage, for different sectors, we will formulate a sector-specific code of practice. Mid this year, we will start to designate certain critical infrastructure operators to come up with the preparedness. For drugs, in the past decade, the overall drug situation or the reported abuses have dropped by 42%. As for young drug abusers under 21, we have observed an increase of 4%. The most common is cocaine, heroin, as well as what we call as ice. In recent days, we also see marijuana and etomidate, well, especially etomidate. Targeting at etomidate, we have passed legislation to list all analogues of etomidate as well as etomidate itself as dangerous drugs. We have also strengthened our patrol. We also have rapid test kits for electronic inhalers. We will also test to see if there is any ingredients containing etomidate. We are also strengthening our publicity. Thanks be to Mr. Aaron Kwok, he has been selected as our Honorary Commissioner for Narcotics. Much work has been done. In terms of treatment or rehabilitation, we are also strengthening the regard of handling cases taking etomidate. Last year marks the 60th anniversary of ACAN. We have held a large-scale summit and we have rolled out a series of exhibitions to continue our promotion. Regarding the non-refoulement claims, we still have 15,000 odd cases of non-refoulement claims. These claimants are posing certain risk to our law and order as well as our resources. Therefore, we have put together certain policies in this regard. First of all, interception at source. By working with Chinese mainland, we are targeting at the non-Chinese illegal immigrants. Actually, we have observed a 90% drop if you compare the figures with 2025 and that of 2023. Through a vigorous law enforcement, we are also prohibiting them from becoming illegal workers. We have deployed additional manpower to focus on different related departments so that we can expedite the handling of such cases. We are also strengthening our detention facilities. We have reallocated certain unused correctional facilities to detain the claimants who pose higher security risk to the community. We found it very effective. Such claimants sometimes will take the initiative to be removed. We are also stepping up in our removal policy. In 2025, we have removed 2,613 cases whose cases are not established. Compare with the figure in 2024, we have an increase of 18%. Last September, we have established an interdepartmental task force against illegal employment. Apart from the law enforcement unit, we also work together with the Labor and Welfare Bureau, Education Bureau, the Transport Department, etc. We have conducted a regular patrol, and by exchanging intelligence, we are stepping up our enforcements in certain areas. For example, the food delivery, as well as the ride-hailing platform. We also check to see if there is anyone who offers services on social media platform like the makeup artists, photographers, we will put together certain decoy operations in order to quote such cases. Our areas also cover those who work on interior renovation, etc. Another major area of our work is the amending of the laws on sexual offences. The Law Reform Commission has released certain reports covering offences like rape and other non-consensual sexual offences involving children and persons who are mentally impaired, as well as miscellaneous sexual offences. We are going to introduce an amendment bill. But actually, there are certain ordinances that we have passed already, including those on voyeurism. We are also expanding the inspection of certain certificates on the soon-to-be employees as well as volunteers. Speaking of the correctional services and rehabilitation, we want to provide the captives with a basic and humane environment. We have put a lot of effort on the enhancement of rehabilitation work, one of which is an ethics college that was established in 2023. Adult prisoners can become a student full-time. It's like they are studying at a boarding school. It is one major leg of our rehabilitation work. Mr. Tong In-kit, the first convicted prisoner through Safeguarding National Security Ordinance, have attended Ethics College and he has been transformed. He has become one of the flag officers of Ethics College. He also shared how he was being misled in the past. Regarding fire safety, targeting the buildings that were built before 1987, we have introduced an amendments to the Fire Safety Buildings Ordinance so that we can upgrade the installations of those buildings. We will include different facilities like the water tank, etc. But nowadays, we have also introduced Internet of Things fire detection systems. With that, we will be able to upgrade the facilities within 2 to 3 weeks. Drones cannot be used for formal firefighting at the moment, but still, we can use it to help inspect the fire scene, and we are also looking into how we can make use of it further. Early on, during the motion debate at the council meeting and 2 days ago at another LegCo meeting, I have already spoken quite at length about measures targeting the aftermath of Wang Fuk Court. So I would not go into details. As for emergency response and rescue, we have established a center for emergency response, and if needed, we can actually have a round-the-clock monitoring. We have activated for 28 times past year, including typhoon signal numbers 10, heavy rainstorm, as well as other large-scale incidents. For example, the National Games or during the National Day Celebration Week, it also covered the Wang Fuk Court fire. Well, as for rescue operations outside Hong Kong, staff members from the Fire Service Department, from the Health Department, as well as a Security Bureau, we have reached countries like Turkey and Myanmar and to conduct rescue operations. And we have rescued 5 survivors from these 2 actions. We have already signed an agreement on the GB Emergency Response and Rescue Operational Plan. At the moment, we are focusing on flood cases. And recently, during the Tai Po fire, We are also trying to include this mechanism in 5 cases. In case of another major fire, we will be able to facilitate issues on cooperative actions, standards, and other regulations.
On bringing convenience and facilitation to the public and business, in 2023, the mainland rolled out a special exit endorsement scheme so that people could stay for 14 days instead of 7 days when they come to Hong Kong. Also, starting from 2023, for foreign staff of companies registered in Hong Kong, who include non-permanent residents of Hong Kong, could apply for multiple entry visas in Hong Kong to visit the mainland. And this is a procedure that is made a lot simpler compared to that of the past. In July 2024, after discussion with the mainland authorities, we have started to issue card-type documents to non-Chinese Hong Kong permanent residents. It works like a home return permit. So with this document, you will not need the visa and you could enjoy self-service clearance at control points for greater clearance efficiency. On visa policies, under the premise of ensuring safety and protection, we strive to relax the application criteria for visas to attract more people to come to Hong Kong. So far, 170 countries enjoy the visa-free schemes. Also, last year, we relaxed the restriction for people from the ASEAN countries so that they could apply for the multiple entry visa. We've also extended the validity period from 24 months to 36 months of the visas. We've also rolled out a group visitors visa. In the past, it would take 4 weeks to apply for the group visitors visa, but now it only takes 1 week. Also, we launched the immigration facilitation scheme for invited persons. If our bureau is of the view that a visitor who comes to Hong Kong for business or travel could benefit Hong Kong, we would roll out this one-stop service for the visitor. The visitor would also be able to enjoy the self-service clearance service. In 2022, we enhanced the immigration facilitation pilot scheme. For those who got the recommendation from recognized organizations, they could come to Hong Kong for 14 days for work without having to apply for a visa. On opening up of the frontier closed area of the FCA, we understand that a lot of border areas are very beautiful and many people would like to visit these places. We try to open up as much frontier closed areas as possible, including that in Sha Tau Kok. Since 2020, that is the first phase of the opening up scheme, we have pretty much opened up the entire Sha Tau Kok FCA. We do not set a cap on the number of permits that we issue to people, so you could visit the place anytime you want. We've also opened up the closed area of Starling Inlet, so vessels could visit Starling Inlet now. We've also removed MIPO from the FCA to provide more convenience to people. On immigration convenience measures, last September, we rolled out a one-stop clearance information platform called EC Boundary. Through the one-stop platform, you could see real-time how many people are waiting to cross the borders and how long you have to wait for the coach. We also, through real-time imaging service, allow people to check the situation at the border control points. Also, we adopt different means to enhance the e-channel service. We have also relaxed the eligibility criteria for frequent visitors to enroll for the e-channel service. We hope that by mid-2026, at the Hong Kong port of the Hong Kong Zhuhai Macau Bridge, we'll be able to roll out the contactless channel. We use facial recognition technology as well as fingerprint to check people's identity. But for this first contactless clearance pilot, you do not have to wait, you do not even have to give your fingerprint information to pass the immigration point. So we hope that in June this year we'll be able to put in place this contactless clearance pilot. Also, for the new Huanggang port, it was scheduled to be put into service next year. After discussion with the mainland authorities, we intend to advance the opening of the new Huanggang port to this year. The construction works have pretty much been completed. We're now carrying out the fitting out works to put in place the equipment. We will adopt the co-location arrangement and the collaborative inspection and joint clearance mode. For example, in the Shenzhen Bay border control point and also in Huanggang, in this new Huanggang port, we will have this passenger clearance building in place. If you have been to Macau and the mainland, you would know how this works. You do not have to pass clearance twice. So under this collaborative inspection and joint clearance mode, it will be a lot more convenient. Also at the shuttlecock control point, we will adopt a similar collaborative inspection and joint clearance mode, except that we're going to adopt a cross-river construction approach. That is, on the bridge, part of it will belong to Hong Kong, part of it will belong to the mainland. The engineering feasibility study has been commenced and we are amending the relevant procedures now. That is the land resumption procedures. On the Smart Customs blueprint, we make use of image analytics to identify any suspicious individuals or visitors. For example, you go in and out of the border control points very frequently. We might identify the suspicious visitor as smugglers. We also make use of a big data system to examine any high-risk goods. Now, on the building improvement scheme, we have set up a one-stop platform for fire protection facilities acceptance. We've also set up an office to facilitate fire acceptance works. In the past, it would take 2 months, but now it only takes 1 month to complete the inspection acceptance process. In the past, for license applications, it would take a long time, but now we use video conferencing to check the fire safety system. And this is under the temporary place of public entertainment license application scheme. We've also implemented the registered fire engineer scheme. In the past, if you want to apply for license under the food business regulation, you would have to apply to the fire services department, and it took 1 month for the application to be processed. But now with this registered fire engineer scheme in place, you may ask registered fire engineers on the market to help you with the license applications, and it will only take about a week for the application to be processed. Now, on hosting international conferences and establishing international associations, the Customs and Excise Department now serves as the World Customs Organization Vice Chairperson for the Asia-Pacific region. So a lot of international conferences have been held in Hong Kong. We want to take the opportunity to facilitate professional exchanges. We also want to attract people from outside Hong Kong to come to the city, to observe themselves how free this city is. and how good the market has been performing. This is to refute any smears against Hong Kong. Also, this year we will stage the Interpol General Assembly 2026. 196 countries, including their law enforcement agencies' heads, as well as their top government officials, will attend this event. We've also set up the International Fire and Ambulance Training Institutes Association and the International Correctional Services Response Tactics Training Academy. And this year we will hold for the first time the International Symposium on Emergency Response and Aeromedical Services. On youth development, there are youth uniformed groups under different disciplined services departments. In total, we have over 170,000 to 180,000 people joining these groups. We hold different exchange activities to bring young people to overseas countries and the Chinese mainland. We aim to broaden their horizons so that they can better serve Hong Kong. I want to mention that under the Security Bureau, there is the Security Bureau Youth Uniformed Group Leader Forum, and students receive training. Among the 44 graduates, 38 of them carry on with their studies, and one of them successfully applied for the administrative officer position, and 16 of them have joined the disciplined services as inspectors, and 5 of them joined the ICAC and the transport department, and so on. 16 of them have now become lawyers, management trainees in banks, teachers, as well as NGO staff. I want to say that through our youth development work, we really try to nurture talent for the next generation. Chair, members, I hope that through the above briefing, I was able to give you an idea of the work of the Security Bureau. The Security Bureau, as well as the disciplined services, will continue to offer protection to Hong Kong and provide convenience to citizens as well as tourists. Thank you, Chair. We understand that the policy portfolio of the Security Bureau is very broad. So we panel members have great mission and tasks to fulfill. So for members who'd like to speak and have yet to press the request to speak button, you may press the button now. So far, 11 members have pressed the button. I'll read out their names. I'll first give 3 minutes to each member, including questions and answers. If time permits, I may allow members to speak for the second round. First, Mr. Brave Chen, followed by Mr. Chris Yip, Mr. Dennis Leung, Mr. Bill Tang, Mr. Andrew Fan, Ms. Carmen Khan, Mr. Nick Chen, Mr. Ken Wong, Mr. Thomas So, Mr. Lau Ka Keung, and Mr. Cheng Cho Kwong. I'll now give the floor to Mr. Brave Chen. Thank you, Chair. I also thank the security as well as the other government officials. I want to follow up on this. We always have to ensure national security because we are still seeing soft resistance from other countries. Mr. Donald Trump and other evil politicians are still trying to sanction against Hong Kong. Like our secretary, he is our hero, but he is being sanctioned by other countries. The Security Bureau, including the disciplined services departments as well as our equipment and devices, are met with sanctions. Of course, we have already put in place measures to guard against any sanctions and to ensure normal operations of our systems. I want to talk about the new Huanggang port. There was mentioned that there will be a streamlined mechanism in place. Our party members have done an on-site visit earlier. The secretary said that there is facial recognition technology at Shuttlecock. Can we have a trial period for this kind of technologies at the new Huanggang port so that members of the public can learn about this advanced technology first and they can adapt to it before the full launch of the technology? This is also to facilitate more people to come to Hong Kong for business and travel. Secretary, we pay special attention to procurement. Indeed, some countries refused to sell their equipment and devices to the police force. National security is our top priority for essential equipment. How can we ensure that there is stable supply without any limitation? Of course, our country would not impose any sanction on us. So for guns as well as large-scale vehicles for rescue operations, we definitely pay special attention to the procurement. Second question is about how we make use of technology. We strive to enhance our e-channel services. We want to extend these services to visitors, and we keep reviewing our services so that we can relax the eligibility criteria for using this service. As mentioned, we will put in place the contactless clearance service. Some of you may have visited Shuttlecock to experience the technology. Moving forward, we want to put in place a pilot scheme to use this technology at the Hong Kong port of the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge. Next, Mr. Chris Yip. I thank the Secretary for the detailed report. I have some questions. I agree that there have been smears against Hong Kong as well as soft resistance.
Since 2019, with the Safeguarding National Security Ordinance in place, we still see a lot of smearing by external forces, especially by foreign politicians. I do see that you have put together a team to refute those smearing. Would that be a more complicated plan in order to promote the actual situation in Hong Kong? You know, when tourists visit Hong Kong, after seeing it for themselves, they know that it is not what others said. It shows that there is room for us to tell the good stories of Hong Kong. Second, early on, I learned about the operation of the Ethics College. I'm very impressed about the students at the college. I know that you will continue to expand it to Peacock Prison. Would you be able to allocate even more resources to the Ethics College so that those who need rehabilitations and those who violated the law from 2019 would have a better opportunity to be returned to the community? I would like to know especially about the resources. Can you increase the resources allocated to it? Two questions, Secretary Tang. Regarding publicity and education of national security, I do agree that it is very important. It is not restricted to Hong Kong alone. We need to have publicity overseas as well. However, we did encounter certain difficulties because there are some external forces that oppress our efforts. We have produced a lot of videos and information that cannot reach those who are outside Hong Kong. The only thing that they received are the fake news. Through ETO, we will be able to do certain publicity, and we also want to invite people to come to Hong Kong and see it for themselves, and they will also spread the word of mouth as they return to their own countries. Even for the law enforcement units, we are hosting a lot of international conferences so that people can come to Hong Kong and see how open and civilized we are. They will see how fair our trial is, so that people outside of Hong Kong will have a better idea about our actual situation. I very much agree with what you said about Ethics College. When I see people like Tong In Kit, He was incited in the past. However, through the training at Ethics College, he has become a different person. He is now very positive and eager to share his experiences. Therefore, I do hope that there will be further development at the college. In terms of the curriculum, we hope that we can increase our curriculum or a program from associate degree to other more advanced degree. We have received subsidies from the Hong Kong Jockey Club. We hope that we will be able to further expand from the support. Next, Mr. Dennis Leung. Thank you, Chairman. I'm thankful for the leadership of the Security Bureau. I also see the overall drop of crime rate by 5.8% last year. However, there are still a lot of crimes in Hong Kong, including those involved prostitutes, gambling, and drugs. Well, especially drugs, because it is the fastest way to achieve the highest profit by the criminals. I want to see what are the measures for you to combat it, because many parents concerns the existence of prostitutes inside the community. Young drug abusers are often hidden. Sometimes they would do it at the industrial building. So what are your policies in this regard? We also see beggars coming from Chinese mainland. So how can you effectively combat these crimes so that our crime level can further decrease and people can live happier? Thank you, Chairman. Well, you are talking about the crimes that violate the well-being of our society. At that free district, we have a specific team targeting at drugs, prostitution, and gambling, especially drugs, although there is an overall improvement in the area of drugs. Well, but we do see an increase of young drug abusers, especially those who use etomidate. Therefore, we are making it our priority. We are not just arresting people at street level. We are actually combating the criminal syndicate behind. Well, last year we have arrested a large syndicate in Hong Kong. They are also doing a lot of money laundering. We are hitting them at its financial sources. So from intelligence, publicity, and law enforcement, we want to combat these crimes more effectively. We do concerns about what you mentioned, that is the cross-border begging. Perhaps there are some professionals like the lawyers and doctors who are especially involved in those cases. We will continue to investigate into these cases. You also mentioned about the begging. Well, begging is in itself illegal, and if they are coming outside of Hong Kong, maybe they are also violating other regulations for their stay. We're very much concerned about the crimes that Mr. Dennis Leung has mentioned. It has the greatest impact to the citizens. We will continue to carry out our efforts. Mr. Tan Ka-piu. Thank you, Chairman. The Security Bureau and the law enforcement units are putting a lot of effort into combating crimes, and it deserves our support. One of the law enforcement arousing a lot of discussion, that is the safety belt on buses. A year ago, when we see the ordinances coming into effect, there are actually policemen going on the minibus to check if people are putting on safety belt. And the fact is that not many would dispute about that. Perhaps the design is different. But nowadays, we see a lot of different opinions in the community. In light of that, well, what will be the law enforcement guidelines? Would there be different measures? Can you explain to us if the Hong Kong police would wait until the bus company and the transport department optimize the design before enforcing law? Second, we're also concerned about illegal workers. there are owners of internal fitting who saw illegal workers at the construction site. When they call the hotline, they have to wait till 4 hours later before inspectors arrived at the site. By then, the illegal workers have departed already. Can you enhance the efficiency, or those who report, can they do better in order to cooperate with you better? Thank you. Regarding safety belts on buses, I think the original intent is very accurate because it is safe if you put on the safety belt. In case of an accident, the casualties could be severe if people are not putting on safety belt. We do require a transitional period. And none of us would like to see another severe cases caused by the lack of safety belts on buses. I think the direction is very clear, but we do expect a transitional period. Perhaps there can be some optimizing of the design or better publicity and education, etc. At the moment, the Transport Department are doing a lot of policy explanation and publicity. As for us, the Hong Kong police will focus on warning those who are not complying with the law. I'm not going to comment on individual cases regarding illegal workers. But sometimes we might not arrest the illegal workers immediately upon receiving the call. We might be collecting intelligence, or we would follow the certain supervisors who are involved with illegal workers. Next, Andrew Fan. Thank you very much. I am the president of the National Security Center. I focus on publicity because we have to educate people, and we would be able to have a safer society with proper law enforcement. In the presentation today, I saw some more innovative way in publicity and education. Animation is one of them. My first question is it possible for us to join efforts with the education department? You know, every week when I was younger, there was certain cartoons teaching us Chinese language that I can watch on a weekly basis. Would it be something that we can resume? Regarding national security, actually we have accumulated a lot of cases. Can we turn them into educational materials so that people can understand about the safeguarding national security ordinances? This will be a very effective rebuttal against those who smear it. As a step further, will we collaborate with the business sector or other sectors to produce certain video games? Well, with that, the teenagers will take the initiative to play the games and learn what is needed to be learned. I also want to talk about the fraudulent calls. Very often, we would receive calls that causes a lot of nuisance, and sometimes we even ignore the calls altogether. Is it possible for us to intercept them at source? People are asking us to borrow money. Can we make it a law to forbid those companies from making such cold calls to us? Thank you, Chairman. At school level, for both the kindergarten and the primary schools, actually, we have a tripartite cooperation in designing materials. Under the support of the Education Bureau, we will be able to enter into kindergarten and primary schools for education. We have illustrated books and children play in order to spread the message. This will be continued. Second, as Mr. Andrew Fan has rightly put it, because we do have a lot of cases, like the Jimmy Lai's cases, we have plans to produce these cases into videos so that it can be broadcast on media, because actual cases brought much clarity. You also give us a suggestion about producing video games. This is something that I will take into consideration. Finally, about the nuisance caused by fraudulent calls. Actually, we'll be able to filter them out through Scammeters. We will also work together with the related government department to target at the junk calls. Ms. Carmen Khan?
I thank the Security Bureau. I also support the Bureau's work on safeguarding national security. I agree with the Secretary. In his report just now, he said the government has strengthened cross-departmental efforts, and there is also a guideline for government officers to help safeguard national security. The working guidelines for government officers, I believe, would allow civil servants to enhance awareness to safeguard national security. Could you provide more information about this? Second, on anti-deception efforts, I know that the police has been reporting the crime rate. I believe that after the amendment to the banking ordinance, there is facilitation to exchange of information about among banks. However, on illegally renting out bank accounts, I hope that this would be an offense soon, and this is the case in Singapore and the mainland. That is, we don't need to prove that the deposits in the bank accounts have to do with organized crime in order to make it an offense. Thirdly, on critical infrastructure, I see that the Critical Infrastructure Office has been set up, and there was a code of practice promulgated in terms of critical infrastructure that has to do with power supply. I want to know if there is a guideline for procurement to guard against national security risks for procuring this kind of critical infrastructure systems. Secretary, on educating government officers, indeed, we have been reminding our civil servants, as well as different organizations. In 8(3) of the National Security Law, it states that anyone working for the SAR government has the responsibility to guard against national security. In fact, not only civil servants have the duty to do so, but those who work for public bodies and organizations have the responsibility too. Also, we have rolled out the working guidelines for government officers on safeguarding national security, and the guidelines include day-to-day examples to remind government officers how to cope with national security risks. We also have staged roadshows to let civil servants understand better how to safeguard national security. Also, the member just now asked about anti-deception efforts. We are currently working with the FSTB to see if we can further enhance the relevant ordinance. On the guidelines on procuring critical infrastructure systems, we have those guidelines in place. Next, Mr. Nick Chan. I am concerned about the laws on sexual offenses. I think they are outdated. The Law Reform Commission has already pointed out that there is sexual inequality because of the sexual offenses, because only men can rape women, but not the other way around according to our law. So is there room for us to refine the existing legislations? Also, the laws currently show inequality among, for example, grandparents and grandchildren. Secretary, we actually agree to the report given by the LRC. For example, some offenses should not only be committed by a certain sex. There are some 70 recommendations in the report. We want to transform these recommendations into laws. Our plan is that starting from the second half of this year, we will conduct a public consultation exercise. Of course, before that, we would consult the panel on security first. We hope to incorporate members' views into our legislative amendment so that the legislative proposal can be up to date. Next, Mr. Ken Wong. Thank you, Chair. I thank the Secretary for the detailed report on the major policy initiatives under the portfolio of the Security Bureau. I have two concerns. First, we have already moved from stability to prosperity, especially after the national security has taken effect. We have more or less restored peace, at least at schools. So educational practitioners can focus on teaching. We hope that the government could concentrate on promoting the message of safeguarding national security law to prevent any black-clad violence or Occupy Central movements like before. I know that the police force as well as the National Security Office has launched publicity campaigns in schools. I want to know if the Security Bureau can talk to the school principal associations. I hope there could be more communication between the government and these associations so that teachers could make use of the materials provided to promote the message of safeguarding national security. This year at the award ceremonies for teachers, we have actually added a new award to recognize teachers that help safeguard national security. Now turning to deception, in the first half of 2025, nearly 1,000 post-secondary students got deceived, and a lot of them are mainland students. Apart from economic loss, some of the mainland students who got deceived, they committed suicide because of the scams. So we are very concerned about these incidents. We want to know how the Security Bureau will follow up on these cases. This kind of frauds, we have to prevent them. Secretary, I understand that we have to promote the message of safeguarding national security. What children receive at school is crucial to their thinking. Therefore, not only in primary and secondary schools, even in kindergartens, we promote the message of safeguarding national security. We deployed mobile vans and vehicles to step up publicity. We have been collecting views from schools to see how we could improve. For example, there was a picture book for children, and some teachers told us that they would like a teacher version of this picture book, and we are now working on this. So we really value your comments. Now turning to the question about deceptions. We noticed that elderly people, as well as mainland students who come to Hong Kong, they are regarded as high-risk groups for deception cases. So we are stepping up publicity and education for them. When they apply for visas to come to Hong Kong, we already educate them. And the immigration department also helped. Schools as well as students groups also take part in this kind of publicity campaigns so that they would not fall prey into scams when they come to Hong Kong. Next, Mr. Thomas So. I thank the security as well as his team for the briefing. I only have one question. It has to do with national security cases. I'm glad to learn about the Tong Yin Kit case. That is, Mr. Tong, through the education provided by the Ethics College, has improved his performance. On investigation, prosecution, and processing of national security cases, it looks like there's a set of standards we have to abide by. I want to know the Correctional Services Department. How do they facilitate rehabilitation of prisoners who got jailed after being convicted in national security cases? The national security law has taken effect for 5 years. There are people who are involved in national security cases who get released after trials at court. You mentioned that for young offenders, you provide education to them through the Ethics College. For those who are not eligible to receive education from the Ethics College, how can you prevent young prisoners who are released from reoffending? Secretary, for antisocial prisoners, we have a special scheme for them, and this scheme targets young offenders who got incited during their formative years. So under the scheme, we tell these young offenders about the history of Hong Kong and our country. We aim to instill correct values to them to rekindle their hope for lives. We also take care of their needs after they are released from prisons. I thank those who are very good-hearted, who are willing to provide job opportunities to them after they get released from the prison. We do not just help them secure a job. Where appropriate, we offer continuous counseling services and support to them. While this is not a lifelong service, we talk to the employers of these young people who got released from jail. We want to maintain the positive mindset of these young offenders by talking to the employers. Next, Mr. Lau Ka-keung. Thank you, Chair. I'm glad to learn that there's a drop of 2.4% in terms of the number of deception cases. I thank the administration's effort for increasing the awareness of deception of members of the public. I hope that the government can step up effort in terms of digital policing to further combat scams. I understand that more and more people have been using Scam Meter as well as Scam Meter Plus to check any suspicious phone number as well as suspicious websites. People have also been taking the initiative to make reports to the relevant platforms about scams. I believe the police would get more and more of these reports. How will the government take a targeted approach on law enforcement and how to prevent scams? Can the government provide information about this? Also, on the 15th of January, there was a knife-wielding man in Tuen Mun, and luckily the police intervened and they successfully saved the passerbys' lives. I hope the government could install CCTVs at public places to step up efforts in identifying crimes. I hope that it would step up the Smart View initiative by bringing in AI technology as well as big data analytics to identify any suspicious behavior where necessary. I hope this kind of system can issue alerts to the public. Now turning to the IoT fire detection system introduced by the FSD last year. If this scheme is proven to be successful and effective, what will be the government's next step? Will the government put in place this system in 3 news buildings? Thank you. Secretary. First, on phone scams, we have to first intercept these scams, and second, we track down on the criminals. It is not an easy task because it could be a computer-generated telephone call, but we will try our best to track down on the criminals. Second, on the Tuen Mun incident, I thank again the police officers involved for their bravery on site. We attach a lot of importance to our CCTV schemes. In the coming 2 years, we will install about 20,000 cameras each year. Apart from installing cameras in public places, we also install them in government buildings. We are discussing whether it is possible to connect the camera system in shopping malls with that in the government buildings. We have been making use of AI. For example, we use this technology to identify vehicle license plates. We also use AI to track the number of people in crowded places such as the Kai Tak Sports Park. We would adopt ways that can help us ensure public safety. Under CAP 572, we are allowed to install IoT systems. We welcome anyone who would like to install the IoT system because it is connected to the system of the FSD. Anyone who triggers the IoT detection system, the discipline services would send staff to the scene.
Mr. Chen Chokwang, thank you, Chairman. I show my full support to the work of the Security Bureau. First, I would like to talk about Chong Ying Street in Shuttlecock. Will it be opened for tourist group in order to further upgrade its value? On Wednesday, we also talk about the northbound vehicle. Can we add new ports for it? Does the new Huanggang port comes with such capability? Well, regarding Chong Ying Street at Shuttlecock, actually it is not a proper control point. It is just an inspection point. We do understand that both passengers from Chinese mainland and Hong Kong are curious about this mysterious location. Together with the Cultural, Sports and Tourism Bureau and other government departments are in discussion of opening it for a tourist group. Second, about the northbound vehicles. Upon the establishment of a new Huanggang post, we would make use of the co-location clearance. We will increase the number of vehicle passages so that it can be even more effective. Next, Vice Chairman, Mr. Chen Hock-Fung, I have 2 questions for the Secretary. Nowadays, in the public housing estate and on social media, we see a lot of advertisement about illegal cigarettes. Actually, they are quite explicit. They will include even the phone number and name of companies. I know that you have put a lot of effort into combating such sales, but still they exist in our community. Would there be any new measures to further combat it? I've heard that at certain newsstands, they are actually selling a mix of legal and illegal cigarettes. Second, about the crowd bidding. Well, yesterday we saw some actions being taken by the Competition Commission. We understand that a lot of criminals are involved behind such efforts. How is the Hong Kong police going to work together with other government departments in order to target such actions? Well, about combating illegal cigarettes, normally we will receive intelligence and take actions upon confirmation. Also, we will target at the criminal syndicates behind them. We believe that it will be more effective. We will also target at its financing and to confiscate all the money that they have. Second question involves bid rigging. Many criminal offenses might be involved. There might be corruptions. or there might be coercion from the criminal syndicate. It might also involve some offences that needs to be targeted by the Competition Commission. Therefore, the government as a whole are in review of the bid rigging situations. The independent commission for the Wangfu Court is also making it a priority. Actually, the actions of the Trade Society are also being targeted. Actually, with the Home Affairs Department or the different branches of Hong Kong Police will be conduct the collection of intelligence against these buildings that needs to be reformed soon. Next, Ms. Elizabeth Quat. Thank you. I am thankful for the effort of the Security Bureau as well as all the law enforcement units. On one hand, they have to protect Hong Kong society, they have to facilitate and provide convenience for the business owners. They also have to tell good stories of Hong Kong. You do have a lot of responsibilities on your shoulder. Thank you for the leadership of the Secretary for Security. I appreciate how you make good use of the innovative INC in order to facilitate business. I concerns about the manpower. Early on, we noticed that it is difficult for you to recruit and retain talent at the Hong Kong Police and the Correctional Services Department. Recently, I am in touch with those in CSD, and I know that they're in face of shortage of manpower as well as another wave of retirement. Smart prison is one potential strategies. Our prisons are quite worn out, and it will be costly for us to move towards the direction of smart prison. Well, we have to reduce our budgets and headcounts in order to put up with the deficits that we have. So the shortage of manpower might affect the workload and morale of our frontline staff. I would like to know what is your take in this regard. Would you talk to the FS? Would you about the reduction of manpower in this leg of the department? I'm also concerned about the abuse of non-refoulement claims. Have you spoken with the TOJ? What is the hurdle that we now have? Thank you, Chairman. In terms of manpower, we did experience problems in recruiting manpower. However, with new initiatives in place, well, including the student police with Ivy, and to showcase the general public our core values, we don't have such a huge problem in recruiting new blood. As mentioned by Elizabeth Quat, we do have to consider the budget that we have and be cautious in recruiting new members. In case of shortage of manpower, first and foremost, quality of our services cannot be compromised. Second, our efficiency in combating crimes cannot be compromised either. So we have to make good use of technology. As mentioned, there are some self-service reporting kiosks. We are able to free up a lot of manpower. Apart from that, we also allow people to apply for the certificate of no criminal conviction. By making use of smart technology, we are freeing up a lot of manpower. We also want to expedite our workflow. Through streamlining, we are able to free up members for frontline policing. That's why we will not compromise our quality of services and our ability in combating crimes. We have been in touch with the judiciary branch in tackling the non-refoulement claims. They have increased their manpower to speed up the procedures. we also put effort in the policy side. In the past, they can have multiple rounds of appeals, but now we can activate the removal procedures after the failure of the first appeal. Chairman, I would like to draw the Secretary's attention to the manpower of the Correctional Services Department. Yes, I will. I'm concerned about all our teams. We have around 5 minutes left. I would like to extend the meeting to see if there is any other members who would like to speak. Mr. Chen Han. I have a few questions, Chairman. Starting from the fourth quarter last year, the government have started a program called Wise Shield that Lok Ma Chau and Lo Wu control point in order to identify suspicious passengers. Can you share with us the effectiveness of such program? If it is successful, would you further promote it to other border control spot? Second, regarding the Smart View program, aside from installing closed-circuit television, perhaps you can also work together with other government departments like LCSD. How about we link the CCTV with the Smart View system? This is something that you have mentioned before. I wonder if you have made any progress. Is there any other government departments who agree to connect the CCTV to the Smart View program? Third, about the drone policing. Nowadays, we have it at the Peak and Mongkok district. When would it be extended to the new territories? Well, because it is approaching Chinese New Year, it is quite heavy for them to patrol it in the rural areas in the new territories. With the help of drones, it will be much more effective. It can also reduce manpower. 3 questions for you, Secretary. Thank you, Chairman. Regarding the smart system at the Custom and Excise Department, we do see the effectiveness of it because they will be looking at the behavior. And there is also a face recognition technology to detect any abnormal frequent transport. It is quite successful. Your second question concerns Smart View program. Apart from our own CCTV, we will also connect with other government departments. At this moment, there is no government departments that refused our installation. As long as there is such need, we receive a lot of cooperation from government departments regarding the installation of CCTV. As for the pilot scheme of drones, there are some designated routes, including at the borders, in the Central District, in Mongkok District. Actually, we will make use of drones for certain projects, including the burglary cases in the rural areas. We will make use of drones patrol as well. At night, we will also detect heat because there are criminals that hide at the mountainside, and with drones we will be able to detect them as well. For the first round, we have 14 members who have spoken. At the moment, Mr. Andrew Fan has requested for a second round. Is there anyone else? If not, then I will allow for 3 minutes for Mr. Andrew Fan. Thank you, Chairman. I don't think I need 3 minutes. I have just a very simple question. Secretary, in this year, will you consider to target those who risk their own lives under extreme weather? Would you consider legislating against those who threaten themselves under extreme weather? We will continue to spread the message across the general public so that they will treasure their life and will not risk their lives by going out under extreme weather. Just now you're asking about passing a legislature against those cases. I think there are different views regarding this in the society. How can we define it, that behavior? How dangerous is too dangerous? Would this be deterring people from calling the police and delaying their rescue? I think more discussion is required in the society. Any further question? Okay, let me say a few words. First of all, I really appreciate the policy briefing for this administration. Apart from this panel, I also see how the administration explain the policies that are involved in that particular bureau. It will be very beneficial to the new legislators as well as to the general public. It helps them understand the areas of work. I believe that such policy briefing meetings are very effective. As for the panel on security, I would like to take this opportunity to speak to the public. The safety of Hong Kong relies on the effort of the Security Bureau as well as all law enforcement units. However, you and I are also obliged because it is up to us to secure the society's safety. I do hope that the general public will continue to pay attention to different issues in our society and take the initiative to share your load. We have to pay attention to things that happens around us and to report in a timely manner, especially for situations that involves national security. Our daily lives might seem peaceful, but still we have to be watchful for any lone wolf incidents. I urge you to be in close contact with the Security Bureau in such cases. If there is no further questions, meeting adjourned. Thank you.